Now we're going to talk about the consistency, which is a very important component that is part of the visual world of a wine. When we think about a wine, apart from the water, which composes a lot of the portion, maybe 85% of the wine is water, there are also some other chemicals, of course. There are some chemicals, anthocyani, that give color to the wine. Potentially there are some sugars. If we're with a sweet wine, for example, there are some sugars in the wine. There are polyphenols that give tannins to the wine. There is then alcohol in the wine, of course. And each wine has a different alcohol level. Some of them have 12%, some of them have 15%. This depends on the wine. All of these differences, all of these molecules create a different liquid, create a different wine. Of course, we then expect all of the wines, all of these liquids that contain such differences to have a different consistency, different viscosity. What is consistency? I guess the easiest way to explain this is with the water. If I put some water into this glass and turn it, I will see that the fluid is moving very rapidly, because water has just water. It doesn't have all these other molecules that we talked about. It doesn't have polyphenols, it doesn't have tannins, it doesn't have the color molecules. It is just water. And when I turn around the glass, I will see that it moves very quickly. Take this as your origin, take this as your base, and try to compare it with a red wine, for example, or with a white wine. So how can we really understand the consistency of a wine that we analyze? What is the first thing we have to do? All you need to do is to carefully turn around the glass in this manner to understand how does the wine move? How fast does it move? How does the movement compare to the movement of a water? If there was water in this glass, how would the movement be? It would be very quick. It would just turn around, turn around, turn around. As you see though, due to all of these molecules that I talked about, here the movement is much slower. And when you analyze the consistency, once again you can use this 3-level structure that I talked about earlier. For example, when we talked about clarity, we had said clear, adequately clear, luminous. We had created some adjectives. By the same token, you can apply the same mindset here. You can say it's consistent. You can say it's rather consistent. It's adequately consistent. You can say it's not that consistent. It's little consistent. You could say it's very consistent. I always advise you to start with a 3-level structure. But of course, you can try to implement other adjectives. You can try to increase the level of the consistency you observe, adding some other adjectives. It's totally up to your creation. But have this 3-layer spectrum that allows you to move. Is it very consistent? Is it medium consistent? Or is it little consistent? Why is this characterization important? What can I understand about the wine? Well, think about it. If we have a wine that's moving very slowly, if it's very consistent based on my observation, then it means that this wine has high alcohol levels. It means that this wine has lots of color molecules, okay? It means that this wine has lots of interesting things going on in the wine. Maybe it's been aged. So we're with a big wine that has accumulated all of these molecules. We're with a wine that's structured enough, full structure. We're expecting things, complexity, intensity from this wine. These are my expectations if I observe this consistency. On the opposite spectrum, if I'm with a wine that's really like water, that's moving very, very, very fast, and really these are wines from northern Italy. Northern Italian whites have this characteristic that they have little consistency, and this doesn't make them banal. It's just an observation that we make, and maybe it's right for that typology of the wine that we have. But from these wines, we're going to expect high acidity. We're not going to expect a lot of smoothness. Definitely, the alcohol is a great indicator because alcohol directly has an influence on the consistency. Then we're going to expect low alcohol levels, 12%, 11% even. It may be the case. These are the ideas that come to my mind when I think about the consistency. One last note I want to make about the consistency, because it's a very well-known chemical phenomenon. You might have heard about the tears, lacrime or archetti. Some people say archetti to explain this phenomenon. When you turn around your glass, and if you have a look at this layer, if you have a look at the glass, you will see that there are some drops going down. These are tears. Let's call them tears. French people call them tears. Their speed, their shape, and their frequency, their number, can give us some indication about the viscosity, about the consistency of the wine. In simpler terms, if you turn around your glass, of course you will see these tears. If these tears don't have a lot of distance between them if they're very fit, and if they go down in a very slow way, you can expect high consistency from the wines. Conversely, you turn around your glass and you see that these tears are going down very rapidly and the distance between them is really big, then you can think of low consistency. Keep this as a rule of thumb. It's not valid 100%, but I guess it's a really good indicator. But in any case, to understand consistency, all you need to do is to turn around your glass and try to understand, try to feel how structured, how dense is this wine, what is the viscosity. You will really feel this, it's not that hard, but consistency is really a good point for you to make some further thoughts, further characterizations about the wine.